Hello everybody and welcome to another J&D review. Today we'll be reviewing Revoltech's Batman. And of course the first thing I want to get into when reviewing Batman here is going to be the awesome box that he came in. Batman came in the DC themed Yamaguchi box, as you can see. Right here on the front you have the figure complex Amazing Yamaguchi, powered by Revoltech. You have Batman right here looking very awesome. You have series number 9 Batman sculpted by Yamaguchi Kazuhisa. And at the bottom of that, you have the Kyoto title and the Canelephant title. Now on the right side of the front, you have the DC Comics title. You have the Justice League title. You have the WB title as well. You have the Batman logo right here. And you once again have the DC Comics title. Now on the left side of the box, you again have the Amazing Yamaguchi, series number 9 Batman, sculpted by Yamaguchi. You have Batman upon the symbol, and you have Kyoto. Now on the right side of the box, you have the same thing. On top of the box, you have Yamaguchi, you have Batman swooping down, and series 9 Batman. And on the bottom of the box, you have the warehousing and licensing information, mostly in Japanese. Now, you also have interesting text right here at the bottom, which is supposed to pertain to Batman, and the English is hilariously fudged, I would say. So when you get a chance, check that out and get a good laugh out of that. And another inconsistency, you have right here a picture of Batman. However, this is Thomas Wayne Batman, Bruce's father, and not actually Bruce Wayne the way that it's supposed to be. Now, this particular Batman comes from the Flashpoint Paradox storyline, so be sure to check that out to get an understanding of this particular Batman. Now, moving on to the back of the box, you have various poses that you can put Batman in, as you can see. And you have some interesting quips that you know Batman just does not say, like, I'm goddamn Batman, and a couple of other things here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm goddamn Batman. Like I said, the English translation is hilariously fudged. So there you go. And you also have Batman's accessory parts. Now, getting out of the box and into a cool illustration I got from Ami. I'll call it Summertime in Japan. So once again, thank you, Cha, for the cool illustration. Let's get into the review. Now, at a very young age, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, had his parents taken away from him by crime. And at an early age, Batman decided to devote himself to criminology, science, and various martial arts to become the Dark Knight known as Batman. And even though he decides to take on the streets and clear it of crime and police corruption, he'll soon learn that the bad guys of Gotham just will not give up the streets without a fight. Batman is definitely one of my favorite comic book heroes, and I'm glad Yamaguchi decided to create a Batman of this caliber for us. So, getting into the paint, I love the paint on this Batman. As you can see, the bat suit is definitely a dark gray, as you can see. Very nice. I like the flesh tone of Batman. Looks very good right here, as you can see. And I love the eyes. Very accurate. And I like the bat symbol as well, you know. Very clean, no paint mishaps on it whatsoever. You know, good stuff there. And the bat belt looks good. Looks like real brass. You know, it also shines in the light. So I love how that looks. The gloves look good. The boots look good as well. And if you turn it around to the back, you'll see that the cape has that matte look, which makes it look like leather. You know, so when it comes to the paint, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. So thanks, Revoltech, for that. Now, getting into the sculpt, I'm loving the sculpt on this Batman. A couple key things I want to point out is definitely going to be his facial expression. He definitely looks very intimidating. Good stuff there, very accurate. I like how he looks as far as the bat ears, they're an appropriate size. The mouthpiece in the cow I don't like very much because to me it looks too triangular. I know that's how he looked in certain animation movies and also in the earlier Arkham video games, but I don't like it. Like I said, it looks too closed in, too triangular. But that's a matter of preference. You may like it, the next guy may not like it so much. But like I said, pretty much all a matter of preference. I love the bat symbol. I like how it looks. It's not just painted on, it's sculpted onto him. So that's good. It seems like a lot of toy companies are decided to move in that direction. So that's good stuff there. Again, the belt looks great. I like how it looks. It's also a little articulated, but it doesn't break away from the sculpt. As you can see, he has places where he put his bat tracers and his smoke pellets and whatnot, And you got seam lines going through all out the suit, makes it look realistic. And you got those bunches here and there to make it look like somebody's in the suit. That's awesome. One thing I definitely don't like is definitely this articulation point right here. I don't like that. It breaks away the sculpt. And Batman really didn't even need it. Let's say that it did work. Batman didn't need it, just like Captain America didn't need it, for example. Now, Wolverine and Carnage, they look good with it because they can hide it within his sculpt and his paint. But Captain America didn't need it, and neither did Batman. Revoltech just does not need to make, this particular joint for every character that they come up with. So what are you going to say? What are you going to do? Now, getting into the cape, which is its own separate thing, I definitely hate the way the cape looks. It's way too broken up, doesn't look like too much of anything at all. Now, articulation-wise, it works perfectly. It does what you need it to do. But, sculpt-wise, it looks terrible. Actually, it looks like, third world countries where they have metal sheets for roofs. That's how it looks, You can even see Batman. You can see his arm on the outside right here. So sculpt-wise is terrible, but articulation-wise, it's pretty good. Now, getting into the articulation, every point on him is a Revoltech joint, so I'm not going to point every piece out. Just know that every piece, except for a swivel here and there, is a Revoltech joint. So starting from the head, you can look this far up, this far down. You can tilt left. You can tilt it right. You can 360. I'm not going to 360. Just know that it can. Right here at the neck, you can go this far forward and this far back. You can tilt it left. You can tilt it right. But I would rely mostly on the head for all of that. The neck doesn't move that well. Now, his shoulders are double Revoltech jointed, as you can see. So, right there, you have an interesting movement, So, right here, you can go all the way out like so, all the way in. You can swivel, but again, only due to a degree. And when you point it this high up, you will see that the cape gets in the way a little bit, but not that much. It's kind of bendy, so it doesn't get in the way, and you can have them pointing up if you need to. So right here at his elbow, you have a nice swivel. Oh, let me show you that a little better. Really need to get the cape out the way. You have a swivel, as you can see, and you kind of got a pivot, so you can use that for those dynamic poses. You can go this far back with the elbow. You can go this far forward. You can go ahead and you can swivel right here with the wrist. They have new wrist joints for Batman, so that's great. And you can also go ahead and do those pivots for Batman. Perfect for those more dynamic poses, as you can see. Right here at the solar plexus, Batman can bend this far forward, which is pretty deep. You can go all the way out. You can move left, you can move right, and the cape gets in the way so much that it's crazy. You can swivel, and rock it any way that you need to, which is very awesome. Right here at the waist, you can kind of move it around, but not that much, but you can move it to a degree. And as you can see, the utility belt gets out of the way due to this Revoltech joint right here in the back, which is mainly for the legs, not necessarily for the upper body. But speaking on that, you have, ball joint in the legs. You can do a full split, which is better than the previous models in Revoltech. Right here, you can go this far forward. You can go this far back. You can bend right here at the knee. You go this deep, and you can go all the way forward. Right here at the ankle, since the boot doesn't move, you can swivel, as you can see. You have a nice pivot going on. You can go this far back, this far forward. And you also have that boot hinge, right here at the toe for those more dynamic poses. Let me get them in a more dynamic pose. I would want to do the gargoyle pose, but that's going to take a little too long. But you can stand Batman in a more dynamic pose. And I can't seem to get him to do it today. But that's mainly because the cape is too top heavy. But let's get into the cape right now, shall we? The cape has a whole bunch of Revoltech joints on it, as I've shown you before when speaking on the sculpt. Like I said, it's supposed to have this blow in the wind type of feel. It doesn't have a vanilla pose like Batman do, but, for those blow in the wind poses, Batman definitely looks, it looks okay, as long as you can hide the crevices and whatnot. So you can have that going on if you needed to, but that's mainly why the cape was designed the way that it is. Now, getting out of the articulation and into the accessories, let me get his cape all the way together. Like I said, this is definitely an annoyance to a degree, but standing Batman back here and getting into his accessories, he comes with quite a few accessories. The first thing I want to point out is going to be his interchangeable hands. The ones on him aren't interchangeable hands, however, but these are. You have his item holding hands. Very nice. All the hands are nicely painted. You have these sprawled out open hands, in kind of actiony pose. So you got that going on. You also have his batarang. Of course, he has to have his batarang. This would be it. Very nice. Not too much detail in it, but it's good enough. You have his bat claw. So you got that going on. And I like the black metal and the brass trim going down the middle. And I like the design of it. The design is pretty awesome. So good stuff there. You have his hand that is attached to the claw, as you can see. And the cable is shooting out. And you can see the claw at the end. So you got that going on. Good stuff there. You also have a mouthpiece for Batman. This would be it. To make it look like he's grimacing or he's in pain or he's very angry. What you want to plug it into the mouth of Batman, but you got to put it in an upward direction. You also have a couple of extra pieces to his cape. This would be it. Complete with extra Revoltech joints. And you also get a stand. So with that would be the end of the review. Be sure to rate it, subscribe, and tell me what you think of Batman. Do you like him? Do you love him? To me, he's great, but the cape is a disaster. And with that would be the J&D review. This is the J, signing out.